Hello everyone, welcome to upcoming IAS. So today we will be starting 6th class polity ncert chapter 2. So let's dive deep into this topic. So chapter 2 is about diversity and discrimination. Okay, so in the previous chapter we have discussed the meanings of diversity. Sometimes people who are different from others are teased, laughed at, or not included in a certain activity or group. We feel hurt, angry, helpless, or sad when friends or others treat us in such ways. Have you ever wondered why this happens? In this chapter, we will try and explore how such experiences are related to the society we live in. We will look at how they are connected to the inequalities that exist around us. So, firstly, we will read about difference and prejudice. There are many there, there are many things that make us what we are, how we live, the languages we speak, what we eat, where games we play, and the things we celebrate. All of these are influenced by the geography and history of the people where we live. You will get an idea of how diverse India is if you look even briefly at the following statement. There are 8 major religions in the world. Every single one of them is practiced in India. We have more than 1600 languages that are people's mother tongues, and there are more than 100 dance forms. Yet this diversity is not always celebrated. This is because we feel safe and secure with people who look talk, dress, and think like us. Sometimes, when we meet people who are very different from us, we may find them strange and unfamiliar. At times, we may not understand or know the reasons why they are different from us. People also form certain attitudes and opinions about others who are not like them. So, what do we infer from this first page? Diversity in India, with its diverse culture, languages, and traditions, is influenced by geography and history. However, this diversity is not always celebrated as people may find. Sorry as people may find others strange or uncomfortable, leading to prejudice. So let's move on to our next page. Look at the statements below that you believe to be true about rural and urban life in India. Tick mark those that you agree with. Do you have a prejudice against rural or urban people? Find out if this is shared by others and discuss the reasons why people have these prejudices. Can you list some of the prejudices that you have noticed around you? How do they affect the ways in which people treat each other? On rural people, more than 50% of all Indians live in villages. Villagers do not care about their health. They are full of superstition. People in villages are backward and do not like to use modern agricultural technology. In peak harvesting and plantation season, families spend 12 to 14 hours working in fields. Villagers are forced to migrate to cities in search of work. Okay, on urban people, life in cities, easy people here are spoiled and lazy. In cities, families spend very little time with each other. People in cities only care about money, not about people. Living in a city is expensive. A large part of people's earnings is spent on rent and transport. City people cannot be trusted. They are cunning and corrupt. Some of these statements are villagers. Some of these statements see villagers as ignorant and superstitious, and see people in cities as money-minded, lazy, and cunning. When our opinions about certain people are always negative, seeing them as lazy, cunning, stingy, as some of these statements, then these become prejudices that we carry about them. Prejudice means to judge other people negatively or to see them as inferior. To see them as inferior when we think that only one particular way is the best and right way to do things, we often end up not respecting others who may prefer to do things differently. For example, if we think English is the best language and other languages are not important, we are judging these other languages negatively. As a result, we might not respect people who speak languages other than English. We can be prejudiced about many things: people's religious belief, the color of their skin, um, the region they come from, the accent they speak in, the clothes they wear, etc. Often our prejudices about others are so strong that we don't want to form friendship with them. At times, we may even act in ways that hurt them. So, what we meant from this page? Prejudices in India, particularly in rural areas, can lead to misunderstanding and prejudices, causing harm and affecting relationship between rural and urban population. So let's move on to next page. Creating stereotypes. All of us are familiar with gender differences. What does it mean to be a boy or a girl? Many of you would say we are born as boys and girls. It is a given. What is there to think about? Let's see if this is the case. Arrange the statements given below in these two sections according to what you think is appropriate for the section. They are well behaved, they are soft spoken, they are gentle, they are physically strong, they are naughty, they are good at dance and painting, they don't cry, they are rowdy, they are good at sport, they are good at cooking, they are emotional. If you want to do it as an assignment, you can do it in your rough copy also. What are the characteristics that will divide between the boys and girls? Now, okay, we can skip this portion, okay? If we take this statement, they don't cry, you will see that this is a quality that is generally associated with boys and men. As babies or children, when boys fall and hurt themselves, their parents and other family members often console them by saying, don't cry, you are a boy. Boys are brave, they don't cry. As children grow up, they start believing that boys do not cry, so that even if a boy feels like crying, he stops himself from doing so. He also believes that crying is a sign of weakness. So even the both boys and girls sometimes want to cry, especially if they are angry or in. You can look at the pictures given here. This is snippet 1. People say all sorts of things, and what is written here? You look so different. I'm a person, I feel shy from staring eyes, I want to hide. And is our mind okay just because my legs are wobbly? People think my mind is wobbly too. So what is written here? The children you see in the illustrations here were seen as disabled. This term has been changed. Now the term used is children with special needs. Common stereotypes about them are given in large letters. Their own feelings and thoughts too are given. Discuss what these children are saying about stereotypes regarding them, and why do you think children with special needs should be a part of regular schools or study in a separate school? Give reasons for your answer. Source: Why Are You Afraid to Hold My Hand? By Sheila Dheer. What we inferred from the last two pages. Gender stereotypes often perpetuate the belief that boys don't cry despite being well behaved, soft spoken, and physically strong. This belief, despite being true for both boys and girls, often leads to them suppressing emotions despite their inherent qualities. The term disabled has been replaced with children with special needs, highlighting common stereotypes and their own feelings. Question arises whether these children should be part of regular schools or separate ones. As they grow older, boys learn or teach themselves not to cry. If a grown boy cries, then he feels that others will either tease him or laugh at him, and so he stops himself from doing so in front of others. This is the way boys are, and this is how girls are. These are statements we hear constantly and accept without even thinking, and we start believing that each one of us behave accordingly. We fit all boys and all girls into an image of society creates around us. You can take other statements such as they are soft and gentle or they are well behaved and discuss how these are applied to girls. Do girls possess these qualities at birth or do they learn such behavior from others? What do you think about girls who are not soft and gentle and those who are naughty? When we fix people into one image, we create a stereotype, and people say that those who belong to a particular country, religion, sex, race, or economic background are stingy, lazy, criminal, or dumb. They're using stereotypes. There are stingy and generous people everywhere, in every country, in every religion, in every group also, isn't it? So whether rich or poor, male or female, and just because some people are like that, it is not fair to think that everyone will be the same. Stereotypes stop us from looking at each person as a unique individual with his or her own special qualities and skills that are different from others. They fit large numbers of people into only one pattern or type. Stereotypes affect all of us as they prevent us from doing certain things that we might otherwise be good at. Now we'll discuss about inequality and discrimination. Discrimination happens when people act on their prejudices or stereotypes. If you do something to put other people down, if you stop them from taking part in certain activities and taking up jobs, or stop them from living in a certain neighborhood, prevent them from taking water from the same well or hand pump, or not allow them to drink tea in the same cups or glasses as others, you are discriminating against them. So discrimination can take place because of several reasons. You probably recall from the previous chapter that Samir Ek and Samir Do were different from each other in many ways. For example, they belong to different religions. This is an aspect of diversity. However, this diversity can also be a source of discrimination. Groups of people who may speak a certain language, follow a particular religion, live in specific regions, etc., may be discriminated. Okay, may be discriminated against as their customs or practices may be seen as inferior. Another difference between the two Samirs was in their economic background. Samir though was poor. This difference, as you have read earlier, is not a form of diversity but of inequality. People who are poor do not have the resources or the money to meet their basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter. These are small Muslim girls who are studying. So, what we infer from the fifth page: stereotype societal constructs that conform to one image can lead to inequality and discrimination affecting diverse groups like religions and ethnicities. Okay, so next, experience discrimination in offices. I'm sorry. They experience discrimination in offices, hospitals, schools, etc., where they are treated badly because they are poor. Some people may experience both kinds of discrimination. They are poor and they belong to a group whose culture is not valued, like tribals, some religious groups, and even particular regions are discriminated against for one or more of these reasons. In the following section, we will look at how a famous Indian was discriminated against. This will help us understand the ways in which caste was used to discriminate against large numbers of people. On being discriminated against, people are engaged in different kinds of work like teaching, carpentry, pottery, weaving, fishing, farming, etc. to earn a livelihood. However, certain kinds of work are valued more than others. Activities like cleaning, washing, cutting hair, picking garbage are seen as tasks that are of less value, and people who do this work are seen as dirty or impure. This belief is an important aspect of the caste system. In the caste system, communities or groups of people were placed in a sort of ladder where each caste was either above or below the other. Those who placed themselves at the top of this ladder called themselves upper castes. So what is written here in this yellow box? A common stereotype about Muslims is that they are not interested in educating girls and therefore do not send girls to school. However, studies have shown that poverty amongst Muslims is an important reason why Muslim girls do not attend school or drop out from school after a few years. Wherever effort has been made to reach education to the poor, there the Muslim community has shown an interest in sending their girls to school. For example, in the state of Kerala, the distance between the school and the house is not much. There is a good government bus service that helps teachers reach schools in rural areas, and over 60% of the teachers are women. These factors have helped children from poorer families, including Muslim girls, attend school in much larger numbers. In other states where such efforts have not been made, children from poorer families with a Muslim tribal or so-called lower caste find it difficult to attend school. Therefore, poverty, not religion, is the cause for non-attendance of Muslim girls in schools. What we infer from the sixth page: Dalits faced significant discrimination in India, highlighting social prejudices and poor treatment. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's 1901 experience underscores the need to address marginalized groups. So let's move on to our next page. Dalit is a term that people belonging to so-called lower caste use to address themselves. They prefer this word as untouchable. Dalit means those who have been broken. This word, according to Dalits, shows how social prejudices and discrimination have broken Dalit people. The government refers to this group as scheduled castes. Upper caste and saw themselves as superior. So let's resume and saw themselves as superior. The groups who placed at the bottom of the ladder were seen as unworthy and called untouchables. Caste rules were set which did not allow the so-called untouchables to take on work other than what they were meant to do. For example, some groups were forced to pick garbage and remove dead animals from the village, but they were not allowed to enter the homes of the upper castes or take water from the village well or even enter temples. Their children could not sit next to children of other castes in school, thus upper castes. Okay, here you can see the small picture, a very, I will say, grueling picture being made to sit separately in the classroom. These two children belong to lower caste. So they are being made to sit separately in the classroom because of one's background is a form of discrimination. So this is a type of discrimination. So let's resume our sentence. Thus, upper castes acted in ways which did not give the so-called untouchables the same rights as they enjoyed. Wait, what is there in this snippet? What is the difference between discrimination and stereotypes? Okay, you'd answer you'll answer in the comment section. For how do you think a person who is discriminated against might feel? This is also your homework. Please let me know in the comment section. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, one of the greatest leaders of India, shares his first experience of caste-based discrimination which took place in 1901 when he was just 9 years old. He had gone with his brothers and cousins to meet his father in Koregaon, which is now in Maharashtra. So the story goes like this. Long did we wait, but no one turned up. An hour elapsed and the station master came to inquire. He asked us for our tickets. We showed them to him. He asked us why we tarried. We told him that we were bound for Koregaon and that we were waiting for father or his servant to come, but that neither had turned up and that we did not know how to reach Koregaon. We were well-dressed children. From our dress or talk, no one could make out that we were children of the untouchables. Indeed, the station master was quite sure we were Brahmin children and was extremely touched at the plight in which he found us. As is usual among the Hindus, station master asked us who we were. Without a moment's thought, I blurted out that we were Mahars. Mahar is one of the communities which were treated as untouchables in the Bombay presidency. He was stunned. His face underwent a sudden change. You can look at the picture here. So what we infer from the 7th page is that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, father of Indian Constitution and a prominent Dalit leader, fought for their rights, encouraged education and converted to Buddhism later. Underwent a sudden change. We could see that he was overpowered by a strange feeling of repulsion as soon as he heard my reply. He went away to his room and we stood where we were. 15 to 20 minutes elapsed. The sun was almost setting. Our father had not turned up, nor had he sent his servant, and now the station master had also left us. We were quite bewildered, and the joy and happiness which we felt at the beginning of the journey gave way to a feeling of extreme sadness. You can see how untouchability leads to such kind of situation, and such kind of situation which ultimately leads to extreme sadness. After half an hour, the station master returned and asked us what we proposed to do. He said that if we could get a bullock cart on hire, we would go to Koregaon, and if it was not very far, we would like to start straight away. There were many bullock carts plying for hire, but my reply to the station master that we were Mahars has gone round among the cartmen, and not one of them was prepared to suffer being polluted and to deeming himself carrying passengers of the untouchable classes. We were prepared to pay double the fare, but we found that money did not work. The station master, who was negotiating on our behalf, stood silent, not knowing what to do. Sources: Dr. B.R. Ambedkar writings and speeches, volume 12, Eta Vasant Moon, Bombay Education Department, Government, Maharashtra. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, 1891 to 1956, is considered the father of the Indian Constitution and is also the best known leader of the Dalits. Dr. Ambedkar fought for the rights of the Dalit community. He was born into the Mahar caste. The Mahars were poor, owned no land, and children born to them also had to do work their parents did. They lived in spaces outside the main village and were not allowed into the village. Dr. Ambedkar was the first person from his caste who completed his college education and went to England to become a lawyer. He encouraged Dalits to send their children to school and college. He also urged Dalits to take on different kinds of government jobs in order to move out of the caste system. He led many efforts of Dalits to gain the entry. Later in life, he converted to Buddhism in his search for a religion that treated all members equally. Dr. Ambedkar believed that Dalits must fight the caste system and work towards as a society based on respect not just for a few but for all persons. So what did page 8 say? Discrimination in social and political life impacts lower caste communities and individuals with special needs. Experience prejudice and witnessing incidents help understand its impact. Let's have a look at this small box in the left side. Despite the children offering money, the cartman refused them. Why? How did people at the station discriminate against Dr. Ambedkar and his brothers? If you want, you can read this small snippet and you can brainstorm and answer the questions given here. So I would like to skip this for the present time being. Imagine how difficult it would be if people could not move easily from one place to other. How insulting, how hurtful it is to have people move away. The small incident shows how a simple task was going from one place to another in a cart was not available to the children. Even though they could pay the money, all the cartmen at station refused to take the children. They acted in a discriminatory manner. Okay, so clearly as the story shows us, caste-based discrimination is not only limited to preventing Dalits from undertaking certain economic activity, but it also denies them the respect and dignity given to others. Okay, if you want, you can take a look at the snippet. So we will start reading from striving for equality. The struggle for freedom from British rule also included within it the struggle of large group of people who not only fought against the British but also fought to be treated more equally. Dalit women, tribals and peasants fought against the inequalities they experienced in their lives. As pointed out earlier, many Dalits organized themselves to gain entry into temples. Women demanded that they should have as much a right to education as men did. Peasants and tribals fought to release themselves from the grasp of moneylender and high interest they were charged. When India became a nation in 1947, our leaders too were concerned about the different kinds of inequalities that existed. Those who wrote the Constitution of India, a document that laid out the rules by which the nation would function, were aware of the ways in which discrimination has been practiced in our society and how people had struggled against this. So, in the left side, the picture is about women at a rally demanding their rights. Okay. The right side, some of the members who wrote the Constitution of India. So let's resume. Discrimination had been practiced in our society and how people had struggled against this. Many leaders of these struggles, such as Dr. Ambedkar, had also fought for the rights of the Dalits. So these leaders set out a vision and goals in the Constitution to ensure that all the people of India were considered equal. This equality of all persons is seen as a key value that unites us all as Indians. everyone has equal rights and opportunities. Untouchability is seen as a crime and has been legally abolished by law. People are free to choose the kind of work they wish to do. Government jobs are open to all people. In addition, the Constitution also placed responsibility on the government to take specific steps to realize this right to equality for poor and other such marginal communities. The writers of the Constitution also had that respect for diversity was a significant element in ensuring equality. They felt that people must have the freedom to follow their religion, speak their language, celebrate their festivals, and express themselves freely. I'm sorry. They said that no one language, religion, or festival should come compulsorily. They said that no one language, religion, or festival should become compulsory for all to follow. Because compulsory for all to follow, they said that government must treat all religions equally. Therefore, India became a secular country where people of different religions and faiths have the freedom to practice and follow their religion without any fear of discrimination. This is seen as an important element of our unity, that we all live together and respect one another. Though these ideals are enshrined in our constitution, this chapter points out that inequalities exist even today. Equality is a value that we have to keep striving for and not something which will happen automatically. People's struggles and positive actions by the government are necessary to make this a reality for all Indians. If you want, you can zoom in this page, and this is our preamble. If you want, you can read this section. This is the first page of the Constitution that clearly states that all Indians are entitled to equality of status and opportunity. So here this chapter ends. So basic insights from this chapter was discrimination in social and political life impacts lower caste communities and individuals with special needs. Experience prejudice and witnessing incidents helps understand its impact. India's Constitution of 1947 aimed to ensure equality for all citizens, abolishing discrimination and promoting freedom of religion, language and expression. Leaders like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar fought for the rights of the Dalits and fought for the rights of marginal communities also. This led to India becoming a secular country, promoting unity and respect for diversity. This chapter highlights existence of inequalities in India, emphasizing need for continuous striving for equality through people's struggle and government actions. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for more such informational videos like this. And please do like, share and subscribe the channel. And please share your reviews in the comment section.